do people ask us these legal questions all the time?
All the time.
And I'm like, I don't know. This is why I have an attorney. Like, I don't know these questions. I don't know these answers.
Go hire Alyssa.
It's both. It's a lawyer or an attorney or counsel. Like, it can, or a barrister even, if you're in like the UK. So it's the same thing.
Attorney sounds cooler. I'm gonna call her an attorney.
My biggest thing, if I were selling one template online, my biggest thing that I would focus on right now is getting proper terms and conditions in place, but also making sure you have a clickable box at checkout, because without that clickable box, they are not legally binding. Like, if you don't have that, you're basically saying to the internet, do whatever you want with it, because you haven't put any limitations on it. So if you don't have the legal protections in place, you are so vulnerable that you might agree to settle for a ridiculous fee, even if you didn't do anything wrong, to avoid the cost of litigation. So a lot of times what happens is you get a pretty horrible legal letter, right?
If you are able to use your contracts as a bad guy, I'm always like, I would love to help you, but the way our policies work, like
we just don't tell you.
have to follow our terms and conditions and our policies.
If you are serious about running a business, like, you better lock it up.
And I don't feel like enough people talk about this. And I don't know why more people don't talk about this, because it could undo not having the right terms and conditions can literally undo all of the hard work that you put into building your business. You really took like the scare factor out of legal, for us at least. And it was like, okay, well, this is just common.
Here's the plan.
This episode is sponsored by Sunday Citizen. This is my go-to for bedding, for loungewear, basically everything soft, elevated, cozy, luxury. I'm talking spa-level comfort without the spa prices. And their Snug Stitch Comforter Bundle is literally iconic. It's on my bed right now. Their loungewear feels like it's cheating on your old stuff. This is comfort that actually feels luxurious, and you look good wearing it. Go to SundayCitizen.com and use code MeganHall20 for 20% off. But just a warning, once you try it, your standards are going to go way up.
You know those comment guideposts exploding on Instagram? Here's why they work. ManyChat. Someone comments your keyword, they automatically get your DM, your freebie delivered, email captured, sale made, while you're literally doing anything else. This is how creators scale. One automation, infinite conversations. Their template library means you are live in 10 minutes. Meta officially partners with them. Over 1 million businesses, can't be wrong. Free tier covers 1,000 contacts, no credit card needed. Links in the notes. Turn every comment into a connection. Start today.
Welcome back to the Out of Office podcast. Today we have another guest with us, and we're really, really excited to introduce you to Alyssa. Alyssa is actually our attorney for our business, but she specializes in creator businesses, and she's an attorney for creator businesses. And so we brought her on to share some really important information, to ask her all of the burning questions that you have about the behind the scenes with creator businesses, what you need to have to secure your business legally, what you don't really need to have, and maybe what you just might want to know, maybe the hot goss in the creator world. So welcome, Alyssa. Thanks for coming on this episode with us. We're super excited to have you and ask you some dope questions.
Hello. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for having me. When you had asked me, I felt so honored to be here with you guys. I know I've seen you, from 2 years ago? Has it been 2 years now?
I think so.
Maybe.
Close.
Oh my gosh.
We were on Zoom, maybe. Yeah.
Exactly. And just to see your progression, and now you're doing a podcast. This is so awesome. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, for sure. You were like one of our first guests, like at the top of our wish list, honestly, because we were like, do people ask us these legal questions all the time?
All the time.
And I'm like, I don't know. This is why I have an attorney. Like, I don't know these questions. I don't know these answers.
Go hire Alyssa.
Not only that, but you explain it in a way that just absolutely made sense from the beginning. Like, I'm like, hold my hand and talk to me like I'm 5. And you did that without me having to ask. And it helps so much.
Thank you so much. That means so much. It's like my little teacher in me. I have a family of teachers. And so it's trying to really take those complex and overwhelming terms and really realize that, you know, from litigation, being a lawyer, like, I'm not talking to another lawyer, so I need to say it in plain English, right? There's like a teachable moment in with the answer to be like, okay, you need to know X, Y, and Z before I can say A, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Alyssa, can I ask you a question?
That even made sense?
It did.
It
Yeah.
absolutely did.
But I need to ask you a question that I have always wrestled with. What's the difference between an attorney and a lawyer? And are they interchangeable? And are you a lawyer or are you an attorney?
This is a really good question. It's both. It's a lawyer or an attorney or counsel. Like it can, or a barrister even, if you're in like the UK. So it's the same thing. It
Okay,
just
thank
really
God.
depends on the niche, right? So like that's when you start getting into like, oh, I'm a business lawyer, or oh, I'm a trademark lawyer, or oh, I'm, whatever lawyer. But it means the same thing. It's interchangeable.
I was really worried
You could have
that,
asked me that because I actually knew that answer.
well, I would not have asked her.
I go with both. I feel like I'll say like attorney Alyssa. I don't know. I go with both. Yeah.
For some reason, attorney sounds like posh to me. So I was like, attorney sounds cooler. I'm going to call her an attorney. So I'm glad I
Well,
wasn't.
then I'm gonna go with attorney. There you go. From now on.
Change all of my legal documents.
Well,
Change
a
your
lot of people
business
do, like
cards.
attorney at law, right? So then like you
Oh.
make it even more posh.
That feel
Wow.
attorney at law also just makes me think of the J.G. Wentworth song. I don't know why.
Call J.G. Wentworth.
877 cash now.
I don't know that one, and I love jingles, and now that's gonna be in my head. I love those jingles.
There's no way you don't know that one.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Texas Hammer.
No.
But
He's well known around here.
He slams a hammer
yeah.
too.
his son's taking it up now too. So we got Thomas J. Henry, and then we got Thomas J. Henry Jr., but they're the Texas Hammer.
Yep.
Oh my
They
gosh.
fought for
They
you.
hammer it to you.
For you. for me, I grew up in Vegas, and mine was the whole Glenn Lerner. He's the real heavy hitter. And so that was his thing, was like the baseball bat of like, he's a real heavy hitter.
I love the legal side of branding. It's so aggressive, and
so
I love it
aggressive.
so much. But the jingles hit so
Oh,
hard.
they do.
At the
They
same time.
really do. This is a really random story, but I just want to tell you. So in high school, I was running for treasurer, and I was like, that was like the jingle for Vegas, like when I was in high school. So I had him come on to like my video to be like, Alyssa, she's the real heavy hitter. Vote for her for treasurer. So I get it. I
That's
totally get it.
amazing.
I love it.
That is how you ended up in law school.
Right?
So-
exactly. The signs were there. The signs were there.
I expect to see those changes to your landing pages.
We need to work
Oh
on
my
your
God.
branding.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can't do the heavy hitter. It's already taken. It sounds like the
Taken.
hammer is too.
We'll come up
Yeah.
with something for you.
Okay.
All right. So let's kind of get into some questions that we have for you. So our listeners aren't like, all right, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, we're gonna need to cut that out.
It's still going to be ridiculous, guys. But we're actually not going to cut that out.
Sorry, Alyssa.
I forgot. We're not just talking.
All right. So Alyssa, you walked away from a litigation
Oh.
career.
I'm sorry. I have to interrupt you. My dog is actually in here, so
Okay,
we will
no,
need to cut this part out.
Okay, gotcha.
Milo.
What kind of dog is it?
I don't know. I just saw legs. She just carrying him away.
Yeah, we're leaving that. Oh god.
So
We're
sorry,
gonna
he
leave the
blended
dog
in.
legs.
He blended in with the printer.
Our producer said we're leaving the dog.
Oh,
We just saw legs.
That's the only short form we're making.
That's our collab post.
If you're gonna put Alyssa, she's the real heavy hitter. Oh,
She's the realist. First
She'll
things
break
first.
your leg.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, you guys, you can't make this stuff up.
Oh,
Okay.
no, you really can't. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me throw some coffee down.
Yeah, sorry. Like as you were talking it, I'm like, why is there barking behind me?
It's us.
I heard like a low level woof earlier. So I was like, I love it.
Oh, I'm like, there he is.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
All right. No, you're good. Okay. So, Alyssa, you walked away from a litigation career on the path to making partner. And you say that we kind of read your story. There was a personal tragedy. You became a mom. And you wanted to build a virtual law firm that serves creators and online businesses. So kind of what was that tipping point for you? And what was your inner voice telling you that made you change everything and completely, change the trajectory of where you were headed and start an online business?
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, it is kind of a tragic story. I mean, so my dad ended up in the hospital fighting for his life, right? And he had built a pool business for, gosh, I would say over 50 years from scratch. And so he had all of these long standing clients in place. And when he was in the hospital fighting for his life, his employees swooped in, and honestly, it was, well, they swooped in and they essentially poached all of his clients and said that he was retiring and that they were taking over. So they created a whole new business, poached all of his clients. And we didn't discover this until after my dad was released from the hospital, which he's doing fine now, thankfully. But legally, we couldn't do anything because he didn't have any contracts or legal protections in place. And yeah, I guess technically we could sue, but you never want to sue unless you have a really good defense or you have a really good reason to, right? You have really good, solid legal ground to pursue it. And we just didn't have that. So watching him lose everything while also trying to recover from this accident really broke me. And the fact that I was a lawyer and I didn't realize how legally vulnerable my own dad was in his business. So when the pandemic started and my friends and some of my cousins were starting their online business, I was like, well, wait a second, you don't have a privacy policy. Oh, wait, you don't have this. And in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, they don't know what they don't know. They don't understand the stuff that needs to be in place. And so in that moment, I realized I didn't want to just win cases in litigation after the damage had already been done, but I wanted to prevent it in the first place. My inner voice really said, you can help people before they lose everything they've built. And I knew how to do that. I just needed to make it more accessible for people who were in the online space. And so what happened to my dad didn't happen to online business owners simply because traditional law firms, they can feel intimidating. They don't feel accessible, and they tend to have really high billable rates. And so that's when I started to pivot. I really was on the course of most lawyers where you're becoming partner. I was at a boutique law firm, and that was like the dream. But then I just had this calling where it was like, oh my gosh, I need to help make legal more accessible and prevent this from happening. So that's really when I walked away from litigation and started building Legal Doer.
Wow. That's
the real
so
MVP.
Yeah, for real. Like that's it. I hate how it came to be, but like you really created something from what was like a tragic. That's crazy what happened to your dad.
I know, and it still gets me to this day because it's like, there was nothing we could legally do. And that's a lot, that happens a lot even in the online space, right? When people don't have those legal protections in place and
Yeah.
they just simply don't know what they don't know.
Ooh.
Absolutely. And I don't think anyone has any idea how vulnerable they really are.
No, we didn't either. And
Yes.
we were kind of like, do we really need a lawyer? We didn't know. And
I was the psycho one about
yeah,
the
Paige was
lawsuit.
the psycho, and she's like, we have to have contracts. I was like, what contracts?
Yeah.
They're buying a PDF.
You're like,
Yeah.
we're fine.
Yeah, like, oh, I don't know, like give them a contract. You bought this PDF, sign your name. I don't know, but yeah, Alyssa was like, you're crazy. You actually need a privacy policy. You need terms and conditions. I was like, oh gosh.
The only reason I'm crazy about it is because for years I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I realized that I was not cut out to be a lawyer.
Oh no.
She can't read.
I can't read. What am
Oh
I
my
supposed to do?
Turn the logbooks into audiobooks.
Honestly, I could make a business out of doing that.
Well, I was going to say, wait.
Is that a thing?
I see some potential there. But I've always been like crazy about legal stuff because I have actual nightmares about I've watched too much Law and Order,
Yeah.
which doesn't apply to the situation, but
No,
it's enough
but-
to make me crazy.
It makes you realize that it's almost like, well, being a lawyer, it's like you have to almost look into a crystal ball and be like, what are all the possible things that could go wrong? It's like you're catastrophizing. And then you have to put things in place so that those things that you thought of don't happen. And so It is like that. And I've noticed that with my clients as well. Either they've had a really bad experience with legal, they've been burnt in the past, and they realize, like, I need help with this, or they're older and they know they've been through things and are just like, there's no way I'm even taking that risk.
Mhm.
So those are the ones, like you said, where it's like you have a little bit of understanding that, like, oh, this stuff can go wrong. It's anybody else who's like, screw it. Like, I just have an online business. Why do I need it?
Right.
Yeah.
As an attorney, do you feel
both
like
ends of the
your
spectrum.
intrusive
Yeah.
thoughts just give you a little bit more insight? Like you're you're grateful for your intrusive thoughts because you're like, oh, this is gonna be a badass contract and nothing is gonna go
Yes.
Airtight.
Yes.
My intrusive thoughts ruin my days.
No, I think maybe
Intrusive
that's
thoughts
why
are
I'm a
their
lawyer,
worst.
because a lot of, like, when I'm doing custom contracts, I do have to think about all possible scenarios to then write something in there to prevent it. So just as a quick example, I first started out doing a lot of contracts for UGC creators. That was like my biggest thing, was the UGC bundle. And I was like, oh my gosh, when AI gets released, they need to make sure that they're not signing over their voice, image, and likeness so that it can be used for AI. And so immediately I put that in there, a no AI clause. They can't use their content, their voice, or image, or likeness without prior permission. And literally 6 months later, all of the AI stuff got released, and I'm like patting myself on the back. I'm like, oh yeah, I was already in there.
So good.
You called me an overthinker. I'm just thinking ahead.
Oh, that's gonna be my new tagline, pretty much.
Your new slogan?
Yeah. So the intrusive thoughts actually really help, because you have to, I mean, obviously I can't think of everything. But when you're not thinking of those things that can go wrong, then that's when the things go wrong.
Oh,
Got me.
this is why we hired her.
This is when next time someone calls me an overthinker, I'm just going to tell them, Alyssa said it was okay.
Am I overthinking or am I just thinking ahead?
Oh my
Like, literally, I need to write that down.
You cannot, it's in my contract that you cannot use that actually.
Yep, you came up with it first. Credit
Just
will be
kidding.
given.
You write my contracts, so you can have it.
He's like, actually, I write your contracts and I
She's, like,
gave it to
deleting
me.
it, practicing it.
Oh my god, that would be
Alyssa,
so bad.
This belongs to me, Alyssa. Always.
I already trademarked it.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Guys, she really is that quick, though.
kidding.
Okay, so I have a question. So much like us, a lot of creators out there, even still, they don't even necessarily think about the legal stuff when they're getting started. And then when they do, they hear somebody talk about it, like maybe like us on our platform or whatever, and they're like, that's probably a good idea. But then they just procrastinate it because it does feel very intimidating. Like if you've never dealt with the law before, like, with a lawyer or done any sort of contracts, it feels like uncharted territory and it does feel scary.
Sure.
And until they meet someone like you and you're like, okay, this is actually not bad at all. What would be your biggest piece of advice for those people that are literally sitting on tons of digital products that they're selling, but they have not legally safeguarded anything?
Oh man. Okay. So yes, legal can feel like a giant to-do list. And like you said, it feels like uncharted water. But I'd say the goal isn't to make everything perfect right away if they haven't done anything. It's best to just start where you are and really close the biggest legal gaps one step at a time. So every decision, if you're sitting there and you're like, you've been growing and you haven't done anything, the first thing you really want to look at is contracts. If you're selling digital templates, courses, all that stuff, you gotta have proper terms and conditions in place that are legally binding. Right? And then you go into using real contracts. If you're doing one-on-one coaching services, then you go into setting up your entity, protecting your name with a trademark. And it's those small acts of self-trust. I really think you end up like telling yourself, I believe in this business and I believe that it's worth protecting. So even though the legal can feel intimidating, borrow my brain or another lawyer. And really, that's why Legal Doer exists in the first place, is to make it simple and to make it doable. So just think about how you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to become a lawyer. Take off that hat. You're already wearing way too many hats in your business. Lean on a lawyer who can help you go through the steps, because if you're going to ChatGPT, how do I legalize my business? You're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
100%.
And
Ask
it's not
ChatGPT
even
about
right.
that.
It's
Oh, I bet
honest.
it's not right. No, it can't be.
It's not. And unfortunately, people use it like it's a trained lawyer. It's just not there yet. Look, I'm all for it learning from me and becoming better. So as long as those answers are correct, but they're not. And so, yeah, I would say if you feel intimidated by it, borrow a lawyer's brain. And you don't have to become a lawyer, but you do need to protect a bit the business that you're building if you want it to last.
That's fair.
Alyssa, at what point do you think this is necessary in someone's business? Like if they just have one digital product, is it necessary versus someone who has 12?
So we kind of have to look on a spectrum of what legal protection is, right? Like first you need to like, I don't know, I would say you secure your front door, right? So it's like you look at whether you need to start an LLC or your business entity, right? Are you going to be a sole prop or are you going to be an LLC? Which basically means, are you okay with taking on the legal or the possibility of the legal obligations if you were to get sued for something and your personal assets being on the line? So, does it keep you up at night thinking, oh my gosh, I can lose my house, my car, my bank account? If so, and depending on the state that you're in, it may make sense to get that entity in place. And then you kind of move from there, right? Like, there are just so many steps. It's hard for me to really like say it all right now, but my biggest thing if I were selling one template online, my biggest thing that I would focus on right now is getting proper terms and conditions in place, but also making sure you have a clickable box at checkout, because without that clickable box, they are not legally binding. So you need your purchasers to make what's called an affirmative action, which means they didn't just gloss over it. They didn't just pass by it. They actually clicked that they accept before they purchased it to make it legally binding. And that's really going to give you so much. It's going to say where you can and cannot be sued. It's going to say, what the heck can you do with my product, right? Like if you don't have that, you're basically saying to the internet, do whatever you want with it, because you haven't put any limitations on it. Do they own it outright? Are you providing a license? There's just so much legal goodies in there. So whether you have one PDF or 12 PDFs, terms and conditions is your first step, no matter what. And then if you
need, sorry, do you need one terms and conditions for each digital product, or can you have one umbrella terms and conditions that you apply to each product that you have?
Well, it depends on what you yourself are providing. So a lot of the times I say you can have one terms and conditions, right, that apply to all your products, because essentially you're not going to want to make it so complicated for yourself where like, okay, for this one, I'm going to provide a license to use for personal use. But for this product, I'm going to give them full ownership. You could, right? So like legal is one of those things where it's so personal and customizable to you. You can literally do what you want. So you can have, say for instance, the same terms and conditions at checkout and say, but for this product, there's these special terms that apply. And for this product, there's these special terms that apply. And for everything else, these apply. So you can break it up. Like I have terms and condition, a template that includes licensing for your digital products, but it also includes your membership terms. So like what happens if someone doesn't pay you every month, or what happens if they're getting snarky in the group and you want to remove them, or like they're violating your rules of conduct, or what happens if you have peer-to-peer people giving financial and legal advice. You want to disclaim all of that liability, whether you have an LLC or not, or one template or two, and you have a community attached. So it all comes down to what your business needs, right? Because like legal isn't a one size fits all. So like, yes, I sell templates and I provide general advice, but a lot of times you do need to customize those. So to answer your question, you can customize them based on what you need in your business.
Okay. So I have a quick follow-up question that was not planned, but I am curious, and I think that a lot of people would be curious to know too. What is the likelihood of a creator being sued? Is there like a likelihood? Is there like a 25% chance? Or, especially if it's like a kind of an individual creator, they're not creating this conglomerate, but they're just trying to survive and, make some money. Can you say if there's a likelihood of a creator being sued?
I can't say what the possibility is. I think the statistic is like, oh, I don't even want to be wrong about it, so I need to look it up before I say it. But it's not even necessarily the lawsuit. I think it's everything before that. So it's the being threatened with a cease and desist that you're going to get sued, and then you being scared because you realize that you don't have any defense. So if you don't have the legal protections in place, you are so vulnerable that you might agree to settle for a ridiculous fee, even if you didn't do anything wrong, to avoid the cost of litigation. So it's not even necessarily the preventing of the lawsuit or actually being sued. It's everything before that. So that's really what I focus on, is that transactional step. I have sent out and defended a plenty of people who have been threatened with lawsuits. And the way that we've been able to get out of them is we look at the contracts and we look at where we can and cannot sue them. And so without those pieces in place, you just become more susceptible to it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I would way rather be proactive in legal care and safety than have to retroactively figure out how to do all of that. So you're right.
I think most people also don't realize that there is more that comes before actually being sued.
Yeah, exactly.
I did. Yeah, like I think the regular layperson who doesn't watch a lot of Law and Order.
Yeah.
I only watch SVU.
No, they even talk about that on Law and Order. No, like you would think they just kind of assume like you do something you weren't supposed to do in their eyes and then you get sued. But
Then all of a sudden you're in court.
Right. You're
Yeah,
showing
no,
up
it
and you can't
doesn't work
sue.
like that. No, yeah, exactly. It doesn't work like that. So a lot of times what happens is you get a pretty horrible legal letter, right? So that's the first step, is you get this demand letter or the cease and desist letter, and or a demand letter that says, you did X, Y, and Z, and now you owe me this much. And so that's where I have to legally analyze how much truth do they have to their claims. And if they were to sue you, here's the likely outcome and your defenses. And if you don't have them, then you're paying that money to avoid the lawsuit. So a lot of the times it's not necessarily, like you said, it's not the lawsuit itself. It's the threat of a lawsuit that gets you, right? And it's, do you have a defense? Is there something as me as the lawyer that can write back to basically say, go pound sand? Like your threats are minimus, like go breathe air somewhere else, screw you, or is it, what, you did screw up and you don't have an LLC, you don't have the defenses in place, and they're going to take you to the ringer. And so, I have to have a very honest conversation of, do you want this to go away, or do you want to risk going to, to trial, or through litigation? So yeah, it is all of that pre-stuff that happens. But I think the hardest thing with legal is that it all happens behind the scenes. So this isn't stuff that I can talk about. I can't say, oh, so-and-so just got a letter for what they just said on their reel, and now they're getting, these demand letters. Or, oh, I just had someone who signed up for a $60,000 masterclass and they didn't have to pay it because we were able to say false advertising. Or, it's difficult to educate the public on all the things that they don't realize are a problem, because a lot of the stuff is confidential and dealt with behind the scenes.
Right. So for all of the listeners who are just kind of maybe nervous or just kind of ready to dip their toe in the water when it comes to their legal process, what is one thing you would say that could absolutely, as a creator, not skip, legal wise?
You know those comment guideposts exploding on Instagram? Here's why they work. ManyChat. Someone comments your keyword, they automatically get your DM, your freebie delivered, email captured, sale made, while you're literally doing anything else. This is how creators scale. One automation, infinite conversations. Their template library means you are live in 10 minutes. Meta officially partners with them. Over 1 million businesses, can't be wrong. Free tier covers 1,000 contacts, no credit card needed. Links in the notes. Turn every comment into a connection. Start today.
Otherwise, so if you're selling digital products, or you have a membership, your first thing is putting terms and conditions in place. 100%.
The little checkbox.
And with the checkbox to make it legally binding, but with a caveat. Don't use the platform's pre-drafted terms and conditions, because a lot of the times those platforms' terms are there to protect the platform, not your business. So if you look at it, they'll define site as like the website or the host, the platform. It literally has nothing to do really with your business. And so be careful with that. It's not just any terms and conditions. And that's another like huge mistake I see. They're like, oh, I had terms and conditions in place. I'm like, yeah, but did you have licensing in there? Did you have your liability limitations? Did you have all this other stuff? They're like, no, well, I had it from ChatGPT. Or, oh, well, it was the platforms. I'm like, those weren't protecting your business. So that would be the first thing, 100%. And yeah, for sure.
That was something that we learned from you. Like, you have to make that box clickable, because a lot of the websites too, well, when they go to checkout, it's automatically checked.
Right.
And that, I think what you're saying too, that doesn't count because they didn't
They have to
consent.
actually check it.
They have to
It's
do
the
something.
responsibility on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to do something before they're able to purchase it. And so that is a huge thing with a lot of these platforms too, which I had a problem because I created a legal community and I had a problem finding that. You know, like a lot of these companies don't have that clickable terms and conditions box. So for me, you know, of being a lawyer, that's what I'm looking for. So if you are going to sell something digital, it's a lot different than selling a physical product, because it's your intellectual property. And unless you want to control how the internet uses that, you need to find a platform that allows you to have those legal protections in place. One, allowing you to put in your own terms and conditions, not using their general ones. And two, like you said, having that click box to actually make it legally binding. So if you do get a chargeback or refund request, you're not the bad guy. It's your contracts, right? So it's like...
So what platforms do you recommend then that do have that clickable box? Because ours, we are currently using Course Creator 360, and they do have that clickable box. And I think that Kajabi has that too. Are there any others that you recommend course creators using to sell their digital products so that they are safeguarded by that one consent?
So there is, I believe, Samcart, Thrivecart, Kajabi, I say Stand Store. And
Does Stand Store have it, the clickable box?
Yeah,
So
they do. But it's not just there. You have to enable it. So you have to go into your settings, enable the click box, and then put in your terms and conditions, not theirs. And then I think Beacon allows it as well.
Okay, so that's really good.
It's very helpful.
That's a pretty wide variety too.
Yeah, so you have options.
And I would say that's helped within the last 2 years, and I hope that I had something to do with that, because I'm still also trying to get Kit, formerly ConvertKit, to add that in. So if they're listening, I've been asking for 2 years now, and you need to do it, because I tell people all the time, like, you know, what platforms they can use, and right now you cannot sell your products on there because they don't have that clickable box.
That's such a good piece of advice, because that's a really big company.
And I love their email services. Like, that's what I use for all my emails, and I love it. But I can't use their product landing pages, which is such a bummer.
So heard it here. Get it together.
Yeah. I have a question that was not on the question list. No, this is a good one. I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but you just let me know.
Okay.
I want to know what is the most unhinged or weird or just like off the wall things that you've had to put in a contract or like a terms and conditions. Are you able to share without saying names or businesses or whatever, obviously? I want to know some crazy stuff people have requested that you put in a contract.
Who? That they specifically have requested.
Or any unhinged things that you just had to put in a contract
because of the business.
Oh, this is a good question. I don't know that I have like a good answer for this, because if it's unhinged, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, that's fair.
That's fair.
That's boring.
I know.
You're like, man, this will not hold up.
But I kind of get that too, because as an attorney myself, I'd be like, this is crazy. I don't want to get sued for putting this in a contract.
I don't want to have to stand in a hearing and say this out
Right.
loud.
Right?
You asked them to do what?
If you don't have it, that's okay.
That's
too.
totally fine.
I
I
don't
was
have a
just
good answer for
I
that.
was just hoping and wishing for something weird. That's okay.
Paige really wanted the weird stuff. She's
Yeah,
like,
I
I
know.
know for some
example in
unhinged.
your head. What was it?
I honestly didn't have any. I was just really hoping for just something weird for like be like a weird pet business or like a weird adult business or something. I just figured I know there's people out there with like wild businesses and have very specific requests for things, but you're just too straight
know.
edge for that.
I know. Apparently I am. I mean, I have other horror stories we could go over, but
I would
Um,
love some horror stories as well.
okay.
I know that you've dealt with some drama in the
lot of
online
drama,
space.
and I've been looped into it, and I'm like, no,
Spill what you
thank
can, Alyssa.
Oh my God.
Is there anything you can spill about drama?
Oh gosh. You ladies are gonna get me in trouble, aren't you?
It's
So-
already on the internet and there's no terms and conditions. Then
It doesn't have to be drama you're involved with.
Yeah, totally. Well, I will say though, there was one that was behind the scenes that people can learn from, and that's that there are these predatory law firms that are going around like they literally, this is how they make their business, and they look for people who are using paid ads, and when they find you and you don't have a proper cookies banner, so a lot of time, let me back this up so you know a little bit more. So on your website, you have those cookies that get attached to your browser. So
Mhm.
there's the essential ones, which the website, needs. But then there's optional ones that you as the user can say no to. So it's the marketing ones, it's the making more like customized so that it comes back to you and it remembers your cart. And there's other ones, right? So a lot of times these cookie browsers, they don't actually stop the cookies before you consent to them. So you have to find one that stops all of the non-essential ones before they actually embed themselves, because these predatory law firms are going around and they're going to your website and then they're seeing if they're getting targeted ads from you without having accepted the cookies. So I've dealt with a ridiculous amount of like demanding that you pay a certain amount of money because the cookies got embedded before they accepted it. And they pull like metadata. They have like an IP person who comes in and scrubs the like metadata from your website and from their website. And a lot of times people pay them to go away.
Wow.
That's been the craziest one to me because I feel like it's so I call them predatory law firms because I feel like they're using a gray area of the law, and that's one of those things where it's like, ugh, because no courts have thrown them out, you might want to pay it so that you avoid the lawsuit, right?
I feel like they live in the depths of hell.
Now I'm like, I don't want a website.
Oh my gosh, the website
Well-
stuff is so intense too.
That's good to know though.
It's
yeah,
good
it's
to know.
really everything that Alyssa has talked about is good to know.
Literally.
No, you guys, that's my problem. Is I'm like, okay, here are the legal gaps. Like, go down. Like, here's what you want to prevent. Here's also what you want to prevent. But it's only if you're willing to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much out there. So yeah, that's one thing for the listeners. Make sure your cookies actually if you have a website. And also the other one is ADA accessibility. That's like the new wave as well. But usually
What?
I haven't seen that in the online space. I've seen it more for like hotels and restaurants are the ones that are getting targeted for
I
that.
was like, how do I make
Well,
my
you
website?
you have to like they have to hear it. Like you have to be able to read your
Audible.
your website has to be like read.
I'm gonna go look at all of our stuff.
I think that's
after this.
right. Am I right, Alyssa?
I think
That's
you're right.
It's a lot. And you have to have the right like color scheme, the font. If you have any videos on your website, it needs to have captions. There's like a list of things.
So
Yeah.
people can say like this wasn't
ADA
ADA.
accessible.
accessible and I'm suing you because of it.
Yep.
Wow.
Shoot, y'all, I can't even deal with people anymore.
I know. What
I know.
the heck?
Also, Alyssa, you should totally host a very high ticket masterclass to just teach people all this because
No, but
It-
for real.
for not even kidding,
We're
that would
paying to
be
come to.
I would go, you've taught me a lot of stuff. And just since we've known you, and I'm learning stuff still today.
Now we got to go change our color schemes.
Yeah.
We paid a lot of money
there's
for
a
something.
thing called there's websites. There's Userway and Accessibility that can help you. That's like a little like third party thing that you see on websites where it's like the little blue dot, and you can install those. It doesn't take care of everything. So it doesn't take care of the videos like the captions, which you can just take from YouTube, instead of embedding it into your website. And then PDFs are the other problem. And I'm not sure. I don't have a solution for that. I'm going to be
Audiobooks.
honest.
But isn't there also an option to like on your computer where your computer will read the stuff to you?
Yeah, your website has to allow for that function.
Oh, I see.
And for, instead of using a mouse, they have to be able to use like the space bar or the arrows on the keyboard. And so like that to me is like, now you're getting into the scary stuff, right? So like, I want to pull back a little bit. So I know I said it, but let me not like get too overwhelming here. Because I feel like there's like a sliding scale, right? Where like in the first part is where you're just totally your head's in the sand, you don't have anything. And on the very end, you're way overboard, right? Like you can legalize and get everything protected, but how much is that doing for you if it's stressing you out and it's not really moving your business? So it's like this sliding scale, it's like this little medium in between part where you have enough legal in place, not to be 100% perfect, but to just give you enough to where you have peace of mind. It's not overwhelming for you. And there are certain legal gaps that we can cover, like with your website, your sales page, your entity formation, your intellectual property, like your copyright, your trademarks, that we can give you a solid legal foundation without having to get super overwhelming and into the ADA and all of like the other things that, yes, they are there, but like, let's pull back and just look at the biggest legal gaps that are costing you money or that are going to show up in your day-to-day struggles. Like, I realize that there are a lot of legal issues that people don't even realize are legal issues. Like, it starts from day one, just picking your name of your business, is it legally available and is it trademarkable? So first, is it legally available? Is someone else using it? And then trademarkable, is it unique? Is it substantially similar to someone else where you can't actually use it? Because now you're building your business on someone else's property, essentially, right? Like you can never truly own it. And then that starts a lot from day one, or when people are naming their signature programs or their products. It's like a lot of people are looking at their business from a marketing and how can I make money portion, right? Like with business coaches and marketing. And I get that because they want to make the sales, but they're missing that legal piece that actually protects the money that they're making as they grow. So to me, legal can be a real personal decision, but there are things you definitely have to have in place. Like we were saying, like the terms and conditions, if you're selling things online or if you're doing coaching, you gotta have one-on-one or group coaching contracts. Or if you're in a membership, you need to have your terms and conditions in place. And then you kind of get down to like, you can separate it, right? Like your relationships. So think of the relationships you have in your business. Do you have affiliates? Great, you need a contract. Do you have a sponsor? Great, you need a contract. Do you do one-on-one, whatever it is, every relationship you probably need a contract for it, even if you're getting testimonials. So if you're getting a client, you need to get their written permission to use their testimonial, right? So you're looking at contracts, that foundation. And then you kind of move into the business entity portion, deciding if you want to start an LLC for the liability or for the personal liability protection, or are you okay with staying a sole proprietorship? And then you look into business licenses or sales and tax use permits, because now you're a business. So now you have to, you have to operate that. A lot of time it's basically just the privilege of doing business in your city or county, and they just want to get paid, honestly. And then, you're moving. And so as you're growing, you're kind of taking these legal steps and filling them as you go. So I've done it where the person is just starting out and they're like, what do I need? And I've also helped people who are growing and it's like, hey, we need to look back. Was your LLC done properly? Are you in active standing? Or, hey, we need to fix these before they become a problem. So, it's that sliding scale of what makes you comfortable in your business. And it's really a mindset shift. What gives you the confidence to show up online like a real business? Like, have you claimed it as yours? Do you believe that it's worth protecting? And also giving you the empowerment. And I keep saying confidence, that seems to be my word of the day. But it's really allowing you to set those boundaries in your business, right? And making the contracts be the bad guy. So when you have all that stuff, your day-to-day struggles and the legal things that pop up, like chargebacks, refund requests, all that stuff, you have a policy in your business. So think of it as like the back end business operations of like, if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. Or if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. Because I have these policies that I've already decided I wanted in place before I even have that situation pop up. So then you allow yourself that breathing room so that you bounce back when things do happen. Someone steals your course, you know who you're calling. You're doing a cease and desist letter, or you're doing a takedown request, or, you have those things in place so that it's not taking up brain space. And then so you're able to show up in the marketing and sales and with more confidence.
Well, I'm really glad that you mentioned that, you kind of brought up the scale, because all of this, to be honest, is scary. And I'm a type B personality. I'm so good at procrastinating. And so I procrastinated with the legal stuff because it felt scary to me. It felt overdone. And I was like, oh, I really need it. But you're right. Like, this isn't scary. And I want our listeners to know this. This isn't scary. You're going to hire Alyssa to do it for you. She's got everything covered. She specializes in online businesses.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to worry about it. All you're going to be like, hey, is Alyssa, these are my products. This is who I help. This is what I do. I just need contracts. And she's like, cool, you're good to go.
And she just does it for you.
Right. And so I think we talked about some worst case scenarios potentially. We always want to hear the legal drama.
Yeah.
But this isn't scary. And especially when you have, an attorney, a lawyer's brain to do it for you, you kind of hand over the responsibility. And you're like, this is what I need. And then they just take care of it for you. So I agree, because there are times when I think about law and I'm like overwhelmed by the legal responsibilities of owning a business. But then I'm like, oh, never mind. I have Alyssa. I'm not going to think about this. I'm going to outsource this.
It's funny because you mentioned that you are able to use your contracts as a bad guy. And I do that all the time. Like when people email us and they're upset or they want a refund or blah, 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 whatever. They bought it, never opened it, want a refund. I'm always like, I would love to help you, but the way our policies work. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
like
we just don't tell you
have to follow our terms and conditions and our policies. And they said no.
My mom said no.
Like, it's not my fault. Like, we love you so much, but get out.
We have to do these things legally to protect our business.
Yeah. That's why
it's just the
time.
scenes.
Yeah. Like, oh, well, if you're legally bound to.
Yeah. But also, guys, don't go ask the Texas Hammer to help you write these policies. Like,
No.
They're great at what they do, which is like, I don't even know. Vehicle accidents.
It's like don't an 18-wheeler
don't
don't
call the number on the billboard. They don't know the ins and outs of this. Like,
on my space, no, it's so true. So that's another thing. I'll be like, oh, my uncle or my brother-in-law is a lawyer. And I'm like, great. What kind of lawyer? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's personal injury lawyer, or, oh, they do insurance defense, or, whatever it is. I'm like, okay, good luck.
Or a defense attorney.
Yeah, good luck. It's criminal law. So what was that?
I interrupted you. It's a thing of mine.
Rude.
Just kidding. Before we forget though, Alyssa, tell everyone where they can go find you. Because I know for a fact everyone listening is like on the edge of their seat, like chomping at the bit to like figure out what they're to do next. So like tell everyone the best ways to get a hold of you.
Okay, so my website, legaldoer.com. And then I'm also on Instagram at legaldoer. I would say right now, because I'm just launching it, the best way to really close the legal gaps if you're like just starting out or you've been in business is to join my community, my Legal Doer Collective, because I'm not teaching. It's more or less like a checklist. Like, do you have this? If not, okay, jump to this and let's figure out how to do it as quickly as possible. So like what you were saying, like, oh, it's scary or overwhelming. No. Let's not sit there and do slide after slide after slide. Like, we are all so busy and you're an entrepreneur. This is the last thing you want to be doing. So listen to the audio about trademarks And then if you decide that this is something you want, then go look at the workbook and figure out, like, does it make sense for you? Like, let me help you get those decisions made quicker, and so that you're making informed decisions in your business and really finding those legal gaps and doing it quickly. Because we don't have time for like an hour lesson. You don't need to know all the ins and outs and intricacies of the law. You just need to know what you need to know and to move on from it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome that you
Love
have
that.
that though,
I know.
because yeah, you're right. Like people that are running a business are like, I don't have time to sit through a bunch of course modules. I'm literally selling course modules. I just need to figure out how to keep this safe. And that, because I know when we first met, you didn't have that. And that is
No.
so cool.
Yeah,
I need
I'm
to
just
join that as
finishing
well.
up. That is my masterclass, and because I just started it, it's actually the lowest it'll ever be. And so,
yeah.
I do plan on making it astronomical, to be completely honest. The sky's the
You should.
limit.
Join the Legal
I mean-
Tutor Collective.
Rightfully so too.
100%. This is information that you have to have.
Yeah.
like,
And it
period.
could save your business.
This
save
isn't
your
just like
livelihood.
cutesy, nice to have stuff. This is like, if you are serious about running a business, like you better lock it up.
And I don't feel like enough people talk about this. So I'm glad, Alyssa, you have an Instagram, but you still don't hear, online coaches like what we do, course creators,
Yes.
teaching how to run an online business, emphasizing the importance of legally safeguarding your business.
Right.
And I don't know why more people don't talk about this, because it could undo
Everything.
not having the right terms and conditions can literally undo all of the hard work that you put into building your business.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think-
and that's what gets me, because I see it happen, right? And so it's like, you've put all your time into building this course, and one or two chargebacks that you didn't have a way to defend yourself, there goes your money. Like, you
Mhm.
literally are losing money by not having the business legally set up correctly. So
That's
I
a good
agree.
point,
I
too.
agree. I think it's just one of those things where it's like, you can get away with it until you can't, right? It's like, it's not an
Mhm.
if of when. It's, wait, what's the saying? It's not a
not a
matter,
matter
of when. Oh gosh.
No,
If
it's not a
when.
matter of if,
If
it's
it's
when.
when.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
And-
So you can get away with it potentially, not
like,
having
actually,
stuff, but that's,
Your terms and conditions have because obviously disputes, chargebacks, that's just part of business. That's part of business.
yeah,
It happens. People decide they didn't have the money to spend, or it's not the answer that they wanted, even though they bought the product. And so they issue a dispute with their credit card company. And we have won more disputes than is typical for our industry because of our terms and conditions.
Yes.
right.
Because we just said
That
them.
Alyssa wrote.
Yeah, that Alyssa wrote, because we were just like, hey, we understand that they want to dispute, but they have accessed the product. They've, they have
Agreed
used
to
the
these-
product. They
yeah.
knew what they were buying. They had to read the terms and conditions before purchasing. Here's our terms and conditions, and we win them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we would not have done that if we didn't have terms and conditions in place.
Right.
Yeah,
And yeah,
so-
like you said, you're not going to win them all, because it depends on what they said the reason was.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, some of them are, I don't know, I'm not going to say how they get around them, but there is a way to get around it that I think that they're using
Mhm.
to their own benefit, because then now they get to keep your product, or they
Yep.
got to keep
Mhm.
what they had access to, and they
Yeah.
didn't have to pay for it. Like, that is such a gut punch.
It's slimy.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what it is, but I think I know
No.
what you're saying too.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
didn't happen.
I've gotten savvy.
Okay. Well, Alyssa, this was extremely helpful. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm walking away with more information than I had
For
before
sure.
this
Oh, things
before
I
talking with you.
yeah. She's our actual attorney, and I just learned so much more.
I
from
know
her too.
so much more. I think that our listeners are going to probably listen to this a couple of times. If they're not, I'm gonna recommend you listen to this at least twice, because there were so many little bits of information that would have been super helpful for us 2 years ago when we didn't know anything about what we were doing.
Yeah.
So thank you for spending an hour with us this morning. And it was super early for you. I hope you had some coffee before you came on.
Finally had coffee.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Thank you so much for having me on, and hopefully we didn't scare people, because it's definitely, I definitely don't want legal to be so intimidating or scary that people kind of like avoid it. I want it to be something where it's empowering, right? And like, to cut through the noise, to be careful with what you listen to online, and really find someone. If it's not me, then find another online lawyer that you can gravitate towards to really find those steps so that you can make legal work for you rather than against you. And that's really what, at the end of the day, it's not something you're going to have to constantly be looking at. It's like, get it done, and then you can focus on other things and it not be something that's taking up your energy or your mind, right? It's like, let's free it and move past it as quickly as possible. And I think that's what I'm excelling at on the back end.
I think so.
100%.
You really took like the scare factor out of legal, for us at least. And it was like,
Good.
okay, well, this is just
Here's
common.
the plan. Yeah, it's like, here's the plan. Here's where
Yeah.
you are. Here's what you're missing. Here's what we need to do. Let's get it done. Okay, move on.
Yeah, that's exactly how our experience has been with you from the get-go, and it's made it so much easier and so much less intimidating. And I'm not just saying that just to like, make your head bigger. Like, truly helped us so much and made something very big and scary just be very simple. And we were able to just get it done
Move
and move
on.
on.
Yeah.
That's literally exactly what we did.
By the
Well,
way,
I
guys,
believe you because you wouldn't still be hanging out with me if it wasn't, right? Like, you would have moved
It's
on.
true.
You're like,
It's true.
Alyssa's overwhelming. We gotta find somebody else. Oh my gosh.
100%. Alyssa is also the lawyer for some of the biggest creators in the space. I'm not going to name names. We know some of the people that Alyssa works with. If you've seen a big creator on Instagram in a certain space, she's representing them. So just so you know, we didn't go with Alyssa because we found her in like a random Google search. We went with Alyssa because she
Recommended.
knows what she's doing.
Very good at what she does.
He knows what he's doing.
Very good at
Yeah.
what she does.
I know. I kind of want to poach all of you and be like, can I get a testimonial to put on my website? I need to use
Yes,
some
you
of
may.
your clout. I know, it's so funny. I'm like, oh, because I never want to like infringe on your brand, but it's like, oh, I helped them with that. Like, oh, I did that. And I'm like,
Oh, we'll chat.
yeah.
Don't you worry.
But you kind of need to do that.
I know. It's on
And
my
we
to-do
talk
list.
about you to the people in our community.
Yeah, we've talked
I
about
love
you.
that. Yes, I love
Since
that.
we've
Thank
been
you
working
so
with you.
much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
That's literally what my business is founded on. Is referral based and literally people coming and then, referring other people because, yeah, I think that like you said, it's like making it less intimidating, realizing like, okay, I can't get it done and move on, and when things pop up is when we reach back out. But I'm so glad we were able to chat, and I feel like we could talk for another 8 hours.
I know, we really
for
could.
real though, I got so many more questions.
But you guys know.
We need to schedule a Zoom call, speaking of which, and we can just chat about all kinds of things.
Okay, perfect. I would looking
Alright.
forward to it.
Thanks so much, Alyssa. We're going to message you after that. But thanks for, again, spending your morning with us. This was super awesome.
Thank you, ladies. Take care.
All right. Bye. Have a great rest of your day.
I see you later.
See you later. You know those comment guideposts exploding on Instagram? Here's why they work. ManyChat. Someone comments your keyword, they automatically get your DM, your freebie delivered, email captured, sale made while you're literally doing anything else. This is how creators scale. One automation, infinite conversations. Their template library means you are live in 10 minutes. Meta officially partners with them. Over 1 million businesses, can't be wrong. Free tier covers 1,000 contacts, no credit card needed. Links in the notes. Turn every comment into a connection. Start today.